Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Emmanuel. My name is Jeremy, and I have the privilege of being your host for this concert this evening. And I'm delighted to see people still coming in, but do take a seat and make yourself at home. Just before I introduce Paul to you, three boring but important things to say. First, if you have a mobile phone with you, please remember to make it silent. You will be very embarrassed if you forget and you get a call. Secondly, if you need them, the toilets are out in the foyer on that side of the church. And thirdly, in the unlikely event that we have to evacuate the premises, you can leave through the foyer, through either of these doors, the way you came in, or through the back doors in the center, or through these doors here. Let's hope that's not needed. Back in 1975, I bought an LP by Nutshell.
just weeping for the outcast and the lost. Their hungry cries sound like a million nails hammered on a single cross. He sees the children chained in poverty, and we look on from paradise. Different values, different worlds, different sides to God's own dice. I'm singing mercy, where are you? When will justice come? Not till we all live in hope and peace, will the angels' work be done. Singing mercy, oh, where are you? When will justice come? Not till we all live on equal terms, will the angels' work be done. Thank you. Okay, now Richard, I need you back here on your little cupboard. And the other guest I want to introduce you to tonight, some of you may remember from 40 years plus ago, is Roy Martin. He used to play piano with Nutshell, played piano with me. And tonight is kind of strange because I'm swapping let's say a big bald piano player for a small bald piano player. But that's fine. It's quality, not quantity, Roy. Is that what it is? The politics of kindness, diplomacy of love, the art of forgiveness is powerful enough to shape a new tomorrow beyond the lies and greed. The politics of kindness is what we need when in troubled times, cheats and racketeers misleading us with fake news, leading on our fears. Compassion is forgotten, tolerance is lost. Somewhere in the future, children count the cost. The politics of kindness, diplomacy of love, the art of forgiveness is powerful enough. The language of division, words to fan the flame, fire of our prejudice leads for someone else to blame. Gospel of indifference, blind eyes that we turn, space that grows between us as we let the bridges burn. Yeah, the politics of kindness, the diplomacy of love, the art of forgiveness, powerful enough. Messages of mercy, principle of peace are harder to hear now when hate and violence increase. How long will it take us until we read the signs? Yeah, well, we let it break us, 'cause we're running out of time. Yeah, the politics of kindness, diplomacy of love, the art of forgiveness, is powerful enough to shape a new tomorrow beyond the lies and greed. Politics of kindness is what we need. Politics of kindness is what we need. The politics of kindness is what we need. A lot of things have happened since we moved down to Devon, obviously, which I think it's actually 15 years ago. We had two boys then. Some of you remember Joel and Jamie. Jamie is here tonight. I'm honoured. And I also have acquired, or we've acquired, two grandchildren, which is marvellous. And this is a song for Amelia. Child of my child, daughter of my son, this fragile miracle of life begun. You've been waiting in the wings. Now this is your chance. Oh, Amelia, it's time for you to dance. May your mother's and your father's love be gentle, wise and strong, sure enough, and may kindness always be your guide in everything. Oh, Amelia, it's time for you to sing. This is your moment, beautiful girl. You'll learn how it feels to win sometimes, how it can hurt to fail. But in the end, most of all, I pray you'll find that love prevails. Oh, Amelia, welcome to the world. Child of my child, daughter of my son, this fragile miracle that life begun. May the world tread lightly on every hope and dream you find. Oh, Amelia, it's time for you to shine. this is your chance. Oh, Amelia, it's time for you to dance. Thank you. Thank you. One of the best things that happens to a songwriter in your career is having other people cover your songs. It's obviously very flattering. It's also very useful when they're people that are going to sell a lot more CDs and records than you ever are. So that's good. And I'm very honoured that Mr. Vieira here has recorded a number of my songs over the years, which has been lovely. But perhaps even more so, dear old Sir Cliff. I feel I should salute when I mention his name always. He's recorded quite a few, and this is probably my favourite that he did, although it's certainly not the best known. But the story of this began, it was 1997. It was soon after the Princess of Wales was tragically killed in Paris. And I had a call from the management, and in normal management speak, he started saying, "I've got good news and bad news, Paul." I thought, okay, tell me the good news. So, well, the good news is that the music industry worldwide is putting together a tribute album for the Princess of Wales. Everybody, all the major stars are going to be on it. In fact, Cliff's track ended up between Tina Turner and the Spice Girls, which is an interesting sandwich to be in, but that's another story. But he said, yeah, it's going to be a huge album. It's going to sell millions. And I'm thinking, okay, and the bad news? All the money goes to charity. Which, depending how you look at it, isn't necessarily bad news. It's, for those of you who know about tithing, it's like tithing by direct debit. Probably the best way for me to get rid of some money. So anyway, Cliff records this song, and the first time he played it on the telly was on the National Lottery show, which was still quite a new big program back then. We're talking 25 plus years ago. And I knew he was playing it, and I had an unusual gig that night. I was playing at a little place called the Mean Fiddler in West London, in their acoustic room, which is about the size of this stage. And I was waiting to go on, and of course you don't go on until about 10 o'clock at night there, which is when I'm ready to go home and have a cup of cocoa. But I'm sitting in what they laughingly call the dressing room, and there's a little black and white telly. So I've turned it on, waiting to watch Cliff. And when you hear the lyric of this, I hope the poignancy of this will hit you. There's millions and millions of people out there, and they've all got their red and white ticket to salvation. They've all got their tongues hanging out in front of the telly, their ticket to being born again. If I win this, all things will be made new. And Cliff comes on and sings this. The love in you and the love in me, that's all that matters. All the rest is vanity. The time will shatter. The only treasure in the lives we live is the measure of the love we give. All that matters in the end will be the love in you and the love in me. Oh, that's all that matters. Every heart will change its shape to fit the space that a lifetime takes. I've some regrets, some mistakes. I've touched happiness, but it's hard to hold her. Feelings come, then disappear. I've known the laughter and I've cried my tears. I should know better after all these years, but I'm no wiser. just older. And the love in you, and the love in me, that's all that matters. All the rest is vanity. The time will shatter. The only treasure in lives we live is the measure of the love we give. All that matters in the end will be the love in you and the love in me. Oh, 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 that's all that matters. It's all a question of priority. We got so much that we just don't need. If it ain't got love, then it's a luxury. We could learn to live without it. The love in you, the love in me, that's all that matters. All the rest is vanity, and time will shatter. The only treasure in the lives we live is the measure of the love we give. All that matters in the end will be the love in you and the love in me. Oh, 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 that's all that matters. Oh, 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 that's all that matters. Over the last 10 years or more, I've done quite a lot of work for charities trying to end human trafficking. It's obviously an issue that's very much in our news at the moment. And I did two projects. I did a project called Cargo and a project called Stolen Lives. Both were in conjunction with Hull University. Hull being the home of William Wilberforce, of course, who was a politician who was very instrumental in ending the slave trade. Now, one of our strap lines on these projects was that it's not just history, but it's happening now. And it is. I mean, it's patently obviously happening now, you know, with the small boats issues. But also in our towns and our villages, people who are tricked and traded and trafficked for the sex trade, for menial domestic labour, for all kinds of stuff. So I'm not going to talk about it for too long. This is one of the songs, if my technical assistants at the back there, I've got the video fingers to the ready. This is about two different kinds of contemporary trafficking. This is called Tumbling Down. From home in the morning while everyone was still asleep, and quietly stepped into the bright new day. His promise for her future was ringing in her ears. She left her world behind and walked away. She was afraid he wouldn't be there, but he was right on time. And there was something in his smile that wasn't right. seemed stretched out and uneasy as he pushed her into the car. She heard the door slam shut behind her life. When it all came tumbling down, when the promises turned into lies, and the dreams she thought she found suddenly died. He was tired of going nowhere. He was sick of being poor. So he took the chance they offered him with both hands to feed his wife and his family. He agreed to take a job far away in a strange foreign land. He paid them what they asked for, was everything he had. Through the harbor late one night, and with 30 other people in the back of an old truck, he saw his dream go sailing out of sight. It's when it all came tumbling down, when the promises turned into lies, when the dreams he thought he'd found suddenly died. They were tricked, traded, trafficked, degraded. They were goods to buy and sell. They came looking out for heaven and found hell. They were tricked, traded, trafficked, cheated, caught and caged. They started out with hopes of freedom and ended up as slaves. That's when it all came tumbling down, when the promises turned into lies. The dreams they thought they'd found suddenly died. So, Mr. Vieira, please join me. As I say, we've written, apart from Jonathan recording a few of my songs, we've also written a few together. And this was the first one we wrote together. Do you want to?
Yeah,
you
I didn't really remember
I'll
this.
go away.
No, don't go away
No,
because
I need a drink of water.
Oh, right.
Desperately.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to
yeah.
but then I'll go away.
Yeah, just actually, what was interesting was that remembering how we wrote this song. And songs are very weird, and I don't know what your process is, but because I'm not primarily a songwriter, I'm a singer of other people's songs. As an opera singer, I would sing Mozart, Puccini, and everything else, and that was fine. But if actually, when you come to write the process of it, I wasn't familiar with the process. And so I cannot remember whether you gave me the words and told me to write the tune, or whether it was the other way around. Can you remember this?
I think with this one, I gave you most of the words.
You gave me the words.
It wasn't always like that.
Right, but here's the funny thing. You'd given me the words, let's just say, and we were on holiday in Pevensey, near Eastbourne, with the family. And they said, don't worry, there's a piano there. Fantastic. And it was a 18th century house. So I thought, this is fantastic. I get a piano to work on. The kids hated the fact that there was a piano because Daddy was going to work. I was going to take my opera score, work on it, and work on this. And I turned up, and I kid you not, there were only, of the scale here, there were that one worked, that one worked, that one worked, and that one worked. So I wrote the song on those 4 notes.
It's a very memorable tune.
It's a very, actually, and fantastic lyrics. And we released it on the album Rhythms of the Heart that we recorded together back in 2003. And I've been singing it and re-recorded it recently. And it's a hymn, effectively, but we, for this purpose, it's a lovely little solo song. It's called The Promise of His Grace. Across the changes through the years, eternal God, your love comes down to lead us on, so as we walk with you, our every step is holy ground. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. And we will seek to know you more in every word of every prayer, and you will keep your timeless faithfulness through every breath. You will be there. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. If doubts and fears come closing in, we lean on you when strength may fail. And Father God, you pour your spirit down, the clouds will clear, the truth prevail. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. This is the hope for all the world. The nails that held God in our place. This is the love that brings forgiveness. This is the promise. This is the promise. This is the promise of His grace. The thing is about your lyrics, Paul, and you can't get away from the fact they are stunning. And actually, every time you don't know this, but we wrote a song, "Still You Speak."
Yep.
Still You Speak, if only we would listen. and you gave me those lyrics, and I completely forgot that he was coming round for lunch to find out what I'd written. I don't even know if he knows this now. But literally half an hour before he came, I sat and wrote that tune. And you said, you know, it's a marvellous tune. It must have taken you so long.
We've all bluffed that one. Richard, are you there? Somewhere? Has he gone? Here he is.
Ah.
There were an awful lot of songs got written in lockdown. And this is... My guitar disappeared. Oh, that's because I've got the mute.
You remember this, do you?
Yes, I remember that.
I wrote this on the tune on the banjo. Do you remember that?
That's right, this started, you sent me
In
a
lockdown.
snippet of a bit of banjo. Yeah, that was it. And I crafted this masterpiece.
And it is. And it was a real help to people in lockdown, was it not?
To be fair, we did it together.
We did.
And it's a song that I thought for a while ought to actually be my album title.
Really?
It's called Just Around the Bend.
Yes.
Quite appropriate, isn't it, Ray? I'll have a bit more than that, I think. I'm traveling down this hard and rocky road. We're all just trying to survive. Take one day at a time and trust that history will show. Together we'll stay alive. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. We may be weary, but sometimes we just don't know how we can keep on keeping on. Take one day at a time and trust that history will show. When we're united, we are strong. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend, the bend. So take care of each other, 'cause we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, I know the sun will shine again, yeah. So just around the bend, the bend. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. Yeah, just around the bend, the bend. So take care of each other, 'cause we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, I know the sun will shine again. I know just around the bend, the bend. Just around the bend. Somewhere yeah, just around the bend.
Oh yeah, just around
The bend, bend.
Just around the bend. Just about.
Well,
Excellent.
yeah, Jeremy, I thought you wanted
Jeremy.
to come and say something before I do my last.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's one more song before our interval, but I just want to say a few words now about the interval and about Embrace the Middle East. As you know, this concert is a charity concert to raise funds for Embrace the Middle East, which is working throughout the Middle East, and with the news that we've all been seeing and hearing recently, we must be very painfully aware of just how much desperate need there is in that area, in particular in Gaza and Israel. So I just wanted to mention that when you go for refreshments, which are going to be served at the tables over there, you're invited, if you wish, to make a donation for your drink. The suggested donation is £2 for a glass of wine or £1 for a glass of orange juice, but don't feel under obligation. That is only a suggestion. And if you feel that these guys are just such good value that your ticket, particularly those of us who got the early bird tickets, were not really expensive enough, then feel free to give more.
£50. £50 is great. That'd be great. 50.
And you can give in cash or by the cardless machine. Cardless machine? Contactless. But cash card or contactless. You know what it is. The reason I wanted to say this now, rather than after this next song, is because I have a little surprise for Paul. You may have you may have noticed the opening lyric of the first song he sang tonight. I was born in 54. And those of you who are very quick will have worked out that that means that this year Paul will turn 70. In fact, next weekend he turns 70. And although this is a celebration of the mere 50 years as a songwriter and not the 70 years of breathing, I do think that needs to be noted. So we've got a little surprise that's coming up. Our wonderful children's pastor, Lizzie, and her husband have prepared a birthday cake. They're going to try and bring it up onto the stage.
Okay.
You'll need to put your guitar down, Paul, so that you'll be able to cut it in a moment. You need to come up the steps.
Not yet, not yet. Wait for it. The cup comes first.
I think we ought to sing to Paul, don't you? Thank you, Jonathan.
Here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paul. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. The reason for doing this now was so that there's a song, and I hope it's not too short a song, that means that Lizzie and Mark and their team can go and cut up the cake, and you're invited to have a piece of cake with your drink during the interval. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you all very much. It's delightful to get a present that I'm not allowed to eat. But I'll probably sneak a bit. There's a small town somewhere on the map of my heart. It's the hardest place to find, because the signs aren't clear and the road is dark, but its name is peace of mind. It's such a hidden location that nobody's sure if it's miles away or just down the line. But it's the one destination we're all looking for. It's a town called Peace of Mind. One more weary pilgrim with a tale to tell, one more dreamer walking the line, one more traveler searching for a vacant hotel in a town called Peace of Mind. Well, I remember a young man a long time ago, wearing all of the hope he could find. More than 50 years later, I'm still on the road, still looking for peace of mind. I've met false alarms, disappointment and tears, and I've lost my way so many times. Still I hope to arrive before I run out of years in a town called Peace of Mind. Some tell me I'm crazy, it doesn't exist, and I'm only wasting my time. But still I continue, still I persist in looking for a peace of mind. Still I continue, still I persist in looking for peace. Small town called Peace of Mind. Enjoy your cake and coffee.
Just before you go off, just to tell you everybody that there are Paul's CD collection of things at the back for sale. Please, if you haven't got his stuff and you've still got a player, which I hope you have, then grab, I know they're great value, those of you who know his stuff, please go and buy them tonight and make him a very, very wealthy man.
to. Ladies and gentlemen, the concert will be resuming in 5 minutes or so. It would be helpful to the team if you could please return empty glasses to the refreshments table before you take your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to take your seats, please. Paul is ready to sing to us again.
So, you all caked out? Good. So, thank you. Very kind comments in the interval, because I'm struggling to keep my voice for another 40 minutes, but let's hope we do. Everything will be getting lower and lower, I think, but that's fine. But here's a bit of gentle romance to start you off. Somewhere between your heart and mine is a place where we both belong. From different perspectives, down parallel lines, we are drawn by the journey we're on. For the bride in the white dress, the groom in the suit, wearing all of the hope they could find. We've come somewhere between your heart and mine. Your heart and mine. Somewhere between your heart and mine is a moment when two became one. A union of bodies, a meeting of minds. Oh, my counterpart moon to your sun. For the boy in the bubble, the girl in the song, let the words and the music unwind and play somewhere between your heart and mine. Somewhere between your heart and mine, hopes and the dreams forever entwined in this miracle made by the love that we find somewhere between your heart and mine. Somewhere between your heart and mine is a puzzle of passion and pain, the art of forgiveness, to heaven and to hell. We put each other through time and again. For the dreamer and poet, the lover and friends, there are always more mountains to climb. They're waiting somewhere between your heart and mine. Well, somewhere between your heart and mine, the hopes and the dreams forever entwined. As the years roll away on a precious lifetime, shared somewhere between your heart and mine. Somewhere between your heart and mine is a place where we both belong. From different perspectives, down parallel lines, we are drawn by the journey we're on. For the boy in the bubble, the girl in the song, there are still more mountains to climb, waiting somewhere between your heart and mine. Thank you. Hold on. One of the things that inevitably happens as you get older is you lose friends, often much too young, and people you thought 40 years ago would always be there. Unimaginable that they're not. This is, I don't sing this very often, but for a great friend of mine, I know one or two of you here know, called Norman, who died about 14, even 15 years ago, 2007 I think it was. We were friends, we went to school at Wallington Grammar, and I met him on my first day at school, 11 years old, shorts, satchel, all the rest of it. And we were lifelong friends, and he became a guitar maker, in fact a luthier. So he didn't just make beautiful guitars, he made lutes, chitterones, viols, all kinds of weird instruments with far too many strings for me to ever understand. And he lived in Devon, it's one of the reasons we moved to Devon. And then the silly old fool went and left us, but there you go. At his funeral, our Thanksgiving service, his grandchildren were there, little, very young toddlers. And I'm aware that there are people who think you shouldn't take children to a funeral, it's a solemn affair, you shouldn't have it. But I thought it was wonderful that they were there, and they were playing and doing what toddlers do. And this song came out of that. It's called The Journey. Well, I could hear the children's laughter as we said our last goodbyes. I was stumbling through my memories when I glimpsed the future in her eye. She was tapping on life's window while you were closing up life's door. She was starting on her journey just as you were ending yours. Maybe someone grumbled, maybe someone disapproved, but to me it sounded beautiful. And I know you would have thought so too. It's the sound of life beginning. It's the voice of heaven here. It's the sound of all eternity that will live beyond our years. The sun will set and the moon will rise. Our footsteps come and go. You will leave a space that no one else can fill. And while nothing takes my pain away, it comforts me to know that although your song is over, I can hear the music still. Well, they say nothing lasts forever. I know in many ways that's true. The world is just a journey that our souls are simply passing through. But death has no dominion where the King of Life shall reign. The circle is unbroken, drawn in love's eternal flame. And the sun will set and the moon will rise. Our footsteps come and go. You leave a space that no one else can ever fill. And while there's nothing takes my pain away, still it comforts me to know that although your song is over, I can hear the music. The sun will set, the moon will rise. Our footsteps come and go. While nothing takes my pain away, it comforts me to know that although your song is over, I can hear the music, 'cause she was tapping on life's window while you were closing up life's door. She was starting on her journey just as you were ending yours. Roy, if you're there, come and join me. So, Roy and I go back a very long way. 40 years from playing with Nutshell, and playing with me and touring with me in Norway, Sweden, Scandinavia, Europe, all over the place.
I used to have quite long hair.
Yeah, so did I, Roy.
And Paul used to say, he looks like Joan Collins and sounds like Phil. And now I've got no hair. It's the opposite way round.
I wish I could remember all those old gags. I was very rude to you.
I remember them.
Yeah, I'm sure you
They
do.
still hurt.
This is a song we played together many, many times. Still a hugely special song to me. This song goes back 50 years. And actually, I kind of find it hard to believe when we sing it again now that I wrote this when I was 20 or less than 20. And it's like it's more true in many ways to me now than it was then. I'm not ashamed to say, but sometimes still I doubt you along my way. I am nothing without you. I'm an eagle with no wings. If I forget about you, I'll lose everything. My heart's an empty stage. Oh, let your play begin. My life's an empty page for you to color in your love. It's such a common feeling to be misunderstood, but from you there's no concealing. You know my bad and good, so I'm not pretending that my story never fails. But I've already read the ending. I've seen your love prevails. My heart's an empty stage. Oh, let your play begin. My life's an empty page for you to color in. Color in your love.
When I think of all the time I've wasted, the high ideals, the crazy dreams, if only every man could taste this wine I've tasted,
we'd begin to learn what freedom really means. I am nothing without you. I'm not ashamed to say there are still times when I doubt you as I stumble on my way. I am nothing without you. I'm an eagle with no wings. If I forget about you, I'll lose everything. My heart's an empty stage. I'll let your play begin.
oh, let your play begin.
Make my life an empty page for you to color in your love. I am nothing without you.
Nice one, man.
Okay. Back in the 90s, I had the pleasure to work with a 7-piece German rock and roll band, which amazing. I imagine, you know, I had the leather trousers, the long hair, giving it all this on the stage. A frightening thought now. Wonderful band, and we played all over. We played a lot of American military bases, which was great. And we played twice, it might be more than twice, but in Berlin. We played once before the wall came down in the west, and then we played just after the wall had come down in the east. And we played in a very famous theatre in Potsdam. And at the time, I don't usually do covers, but I was doing a song in the set. Some of you might know a wonderful song by Sting called Russians, If the Russians Love Their Children Too. And half the audience was Russian and East German military. And it was quite a moment just to sing that. And out of that came this song, because we were really just coming out of the Cold War. And sadly, however long it is now, since '89, it's like the world, you know, history repeats itself because nobody listens. This is called For the World, One Voice. Sometimes when I'm sleeping, I hear the distant guns shiver to the coldness of their voice. Sorry, I'm going to start that again. It's my fault, because I should have said to my technical man at the back to start the video. And I don't want you to miss the video, because this has got some of Ruth's lovely pictures on it. So if we're all set there, boys, let's reset, full start. And here we go. When I nod my head, you hit it, as they say. Sometimes when I'm sleeping, I hear the distant guns shiver to the coldness of their voice. And I run to hold my child, so peacefully asleep. And I hope to God he lives to have a choice. For I have seen the tanks and bombers stand shining in the sun, measured out the peace we keep in megatons. Listen to the wisdom of the mighty and the meek, and I hear the business interests run through the lying words they speak. For the world, one voice,
One voice.
for the world,
For the world. One voice.
I've seen the face of the soldiers, they're ready day and night. Their allegiance to their flag proclaims that God is on their side. We legislate for compassion while we justify our hate. Then we give to save our faces, God knows too little, far too late. For the world,
For the world.
one voice.
One voice.
For the world,
For the world. One voice.
for the world,
For the world.
let there be one voice.
Just one voice.
For the world,
For the world. One voice.
And sometimes when I'm sleeping, I dream the time has come when we all will be released from the shadow of the gun. And I run to hold my child, so peaceful where he lays, and he reaches smiles, brushes all my tears away. One voice for the world. Let there be one voice.
One voice
For the world.
for the world.
One voice.
One voice
For the world.
for the
Let there
world.
be one
One
voice.
voice
For the world.
for the world. One voice
For the world.
for the world.
For the world.
For the world.
One voice. Hello. Getting lower and lower. I was dancing with my darling. Do you ever think I could make a career out of singing low? It'd be a lot easier than singing high. I am probably when I was about 40. I mean, when you're young and you start out as a performer, you really want everybody to love you. You know, you want everybody to like what you do. You really don't want any negative comments. And I think I reached a point around about 40 when I thought, I'm going to stop trying to please everybody. And I'm going to say and write and sing what I want to write and what I feel. And not that I wanted to be rude to people, but like, if they didn't like it, that was it. This was me. And this was the title of one of the albums at the back called Being Myself. I try to be patient, I try to be kind, but I'm short of the mark most of the time. I can be generous and I can be mean, but mostly I fall down the cracks in between. I'm too good for the sinners, too bad for the saints. I have to say, when I wrote that line, I thought that's great.
Yeah, it's a good
songwriter line, rhyming saints and ain't. It's a bit of Nashville influence. But it's no use pretending to be something I ain't. Spent most of my life trying to be someone else. Now I'm spending the rest just being myself. Oh, and sometimes that's easy, but sometimes it's hard. Some days I'm ready, some days I'm off guard. I can put on a brave face, wear a disguise. I know how to smile when I'm crying inside. I'm too good for the sinners, I'm too bad for the saints. But I'm tired of pretending to be something I ain't. Spent too much of my life trying to be someone else. Now I'm spending the rest just being myself. Yeah, being myself. So now I try to be righteous, I try to be good, But so many times I'm misunderstood. I thought being older would make me more wise. Still hasn't happened as hard as I tried. I'm still too good for the sinners and too bad for the saints. But it's no use pretending to be something I ain't. Spent too much of my life trying to be someone else, so I'm spending the rest just being myself. So I'm spending the rest just being myself. Being myself. Being myself. Okay, we're getting near the end now, in more ways than one. And the last of my very special guests I want to introduce you to. People I worked for many years ago, I think beginning probably in the 80s, roughly, with Springs Dance Company. And the dancers that are with us tonight, I'm not sure if you technically are Springs, but I'm thrilled that Ruth and her daughter Chloe and Hannah are going to dance this next song with me. You'll be glad to hear I'm not going to dance it with you.
But I am.
One lifetime doesn't seem to be enough to give for all the life there is to live. One lifetime shooting stars across eternity, we shine. For one lifetime. One lifetime never seems to be enough to me for all that life could be. One lifetime, all the pages out of history unwinds. For one lifetime. So live every day like it could be your last. Let every minute count as the years fly past. For every heart will draw its own fragile line through one lifetime. One lifetime, that's all we have to make our mark, to be candles in the dark. One lifetime, shooting stars across eternity, we shine. For one lifetime. One lifetime. One lifetime. time. That was amazing. As someone who can't dance at all, nothing gets to me like dance beautifully done like that. And for one of my songs, it's just a joy. So, thank you, Hannah, Ruth and Chloe. And thank you everybody, all my guests tonight, for turning up. I'll see JV again in a minute, but Jonathan, Roy, Richard, and the girls, you know, it means a lot to me that you've turned out. And driven halfway across the country, well, from Beckenham at least, and Guildford, and with the M25 shut as well. I never know whether to say anything about this song. Okay. I wrote this quite a while ago. It came out of a moment when I was super angry. Now, those of you that know me a bit, and you've seen me, you know I'm a very mild-mannered, calm person. But when I lose it, I can really lose it. And there was a thing going on at that time that was of huge injustice to me and my family. You don't need to know the details. And I had a phone call late one night. I was working in a studio on the South Coast, and a phone call, and it infuriated me. So I went down to the studio, and they have a grand piano, and I sat at it and just hit it for the therapy. You know, I played it. I have to say, I recommend anyone to learn an instrument, however badly you play it, just as a way of expressing yourself sometimes, this wonderful outlet. And I started this list of basically people I thought certainly God should have nothing to do with, people I hated and I disliked. And it just, you know, I ended up kind of, it was a very long list, you know, it would have been about 50 verses if I hadn't edited it. A lot of people I didn't like, but I ended up realizing that, you know, if I want to believe, you know, and if you have a faith, or whatever, have any kind of faith at all, it's inclusive. And that there is nobody who is beyond the reach of the grace of God. And these days that can be a hard thing to think, a hard lesson to learn. God of the moon and stars, God of the near and far, God of these fragile hearts we are, I come to you. God of our history, oh God of the future that will be, what will you make of me? I come to you. God of the meek and mild, God of the reckless and the wild, God of the unreconciled, I come to you. God of our life and death, God of our secrets unconfessed, God of our every living breath, I come to you. God of the rich and poor, God of the princess and the whore, God of the ever open door,
innocent child, God of the pure and undefiled, God of the pimp and the pedophile, I come to you. God of the war and peace, God of the junkie and the priest, God of the greatest and the least, come to you. God of the refugee, God of the prisoners and the free, God of my doubts and my certainty, I come to you. Joy and grief, God of the lawyer and the thief, God of my faith and my unbelief, I come to you. God of the wounds we bear, God of the deepest dreams we share, God of every unspoken prayer, I come to you. God of a world that's lost, God of a lonely, lonely cross, God who has come to us, we come to you.
Thank you. Thanks again, all my guests. Thanks especially to all of you for coming. Thanks to Jeremy and Yeritza for organising the whole thing, having the faith you can make it work. So, yeah, thanks all. We're going to finish. I'm going to ask Jonathan to come and join me. This is a song of mine that he's been singing for a very long time. He ends his concerts with it. I end my concert with it. So we thought we might as well try and do it together.
That song is what I still sing. That song nearly. I recorded it 23 years ago, and I've just re-recorded it again because you heard the version, the orchestral version.
Yeah.
And its impact is so. I thank you for the impact it made on me the first time I heard it, and well, I'm going to say no more. That's it. Thank you.
Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways.
Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame.
God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. righteous, speak truthfully in a world that's full of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. May we be known by love. Good night. God bless you. Thank you. Well, I'm breaking a habit of a long time here because I don't do encores, even when people ask me, which isn't that often. Usually I crack my joke about, I'm going to leave you with the two golden rules of performance. The two golden rules are: rule number one, always leave them wanting more, and then I start the song. I want to do this tonight, and she'll probably hate me for it, but with 50 years of doing this, for 45 years plus, I've had Ruth alongside me doing it, and I couldn't have done it without her. At the end of a long, long day, when doubts and fears surround me, you carry my troubles away. When you wrap your arms around me, you are faithful, so beautiful to me. You are where my heart will lay at the end of a long, long day. At the end of a long, long day, you're always there beside me. With one look in your eyes, you can play every song inside me. You are faithful, so beautiful to me. And as the music fades away, at the end of a long, long, long day, and at the end of a long, long day, we will watch the storm clouds scatter, and through every last step of the way, Your love is all that matters. You are faithful, so beautiful to me. You are where my heart will lay at the end of a long. You are faithful, always beautiful to me. When my music fades away at the end of a long, long day.